Assalamu alaikum all. Today I'm going to be talking about how to talk about money in Muslim marriages. Now, I know this can be quite an emotional topic, can be quite stressful to talk about, especially if it's something you haven't done before, and sometimes it can be a source of issues and things like that. And this is something definitely I want to kind of dig into further, and it's definitely one of the most important things to talk about when you do get married. So let's get into it. Welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is all about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. When you get married, everything is one, and that's definitely what I believe. As a Muslim marriage, we want to put everything together. That includes your money, like your ideas, and kind of really help each other out. And the best way to think about it is just that you're now one team, and that will just enable you to do so much more. And you can make so much more progress when you do that, and you put everything together, you combine everything together, especially in terms of finances. If you invest your money together, if you kind of invest in a home together, all of that stuff is so much easier and so much faster when you do have a partner in life and you have someone like your wife or your husband that can help you with that. However, I would say, definitely in certain extreme situations, you do want to keep it separate. If there's like issues of addiction or some other sort of issues like domestic violence, and, there's also things like financial infidelity where like someone's kind of spent money without you knowing, like a big significant amount of money, and you've gotten into like really big debt. So there are definitely situations like that. So definitely need to be careful of that. Another key thing I want to talk about is think about your rich life together. What do you want to do in the future? And this is something Ramit Sethi talks about. Money isn't just about how do I pay for this debt, how do I cover this bill and things like that, but also try to kind of think like further out. And it's amazing to be married and to have that partner in life, and to be able to go on holiday and do things like that. So it's something like me and my wife talk about. And then my wife always wants to go to the Maldives. It's been one of her things. On my 50th birthday, which is still a while away, although not too far away, I want to go scuba diving. Something I actually wanted to do my 40th, but I couldn't for various reasons and various sort of other commitments. But I definitely want to go scuba diving. Like, I'll go on a boat for a week. That's something I need to think about and save. Another thing is, as a family, we would love to do Umrah together as well. So my youngest son's got special needs. So I would love to take him there. And, as he's getting older, I'm hoping, inshallah, he'll be able to kind of manage all of that stuff. So if I do want to do these things, I need to think about saving for that stuff now. Another thing is just kind of look at our debt as well. Can we use each other's savings to help pay that off? Because once we pay that debt off, it's just such an amazing feeling, like such a relief to have that money off your back. Another thing you can do, which is like amazing, is to start thinking about investments like together. Like, how much money will you have in 5, 10 or 15 years time? And just thinking about that figure can have a massive impact, can give you that kind of jolt, that wake up call that, oh, hang on, if I start to really kind of manage my money better and invest it in these things and just kind of keep that money in there for the long term, I can do really well and really like build up my money. And if you have someone like, your wife or your husband, and you kind of both work together, you can just make a massive difference. I also recommend having a joint account so you can keep track of where your money is going, where your like everyday expenses and things like that. So, you can kind of easily track what's going on with groceries and things like that. Me and my wife, initially, we used to have like a credit card. So I had a credit card, and because I was the main one working, my wife was kind of looking after the kids and things. So then I got another credit card out in my name, and then I would sort of pay for that. But you might have noticed from the video, I'm kind of like in the Dave Ramsey camp. I sort of hate credit cards. You could just spend money without even knowing it. It's much better just to have it in an account. So we have a joint account now. So I've got like an account with Monzo, and then like I just add money into that account, and then we see the money go down. And when it goes down to zero, I'm like, oh, hang on, I've actually used up all the money. And I've, say I transferred £200 the other day, and suddenly in a couple of days, there's £200 is gone. I'm like, oh, hang on, that money's kind of gone, and kind of gives you that more kind of realistic view of how much money you have. I really hate credit cards, so I think having a joint account is massive. Another big thing to think about is making sure everyone has access to your accounts. There's been stories, and I've linked a video from Rachel Cruz where like people have had access to their current accounts, where there might be a stay-at-home mum. She doesn't know, what money there is and things like that. It's very important to give everyone access and everyone visibility of how much money you have. That includes your savings and things like that. I think when you do that, it just makes so much more difference, and you can make a much better positive outcome for yourself financially if you do that. And this leads me to the other thing is like, don't avoid issues. It's important to dig into the issues and issues that there are about money, rather than just leaving them and letting them kind of pile up. And I know this definitely is a lot easier said than done, but it's like super important. And what I would say is start small, start talking about little things like how much you're spending a month on groceries or something. We just start like a really simple budget and say, oh, hey, I've noticed that, we spent this much money here. How about we kind of cut back and try and save a bit more money here, or things like that. Like, start really small, and before you know it, it kind of gets a lot easier to kind of talk about. And this definitely leads me to my final point, which is the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So that's whether it's talking about money, budgeting, any of those things. It definitely initially feels a bit weird. Your brain has to kind of get used to it and build those connections, but it definitely becomes so much easier. I've had the budget going on for a good few months and months and months now, and it's just really amazing just to see. And it just surprises me just how much I think, oh, I'm not spending that much, and then before I just realized, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much eating out. There's all these burger places now in East London that there's a place nearby called Ghost Burger, which they do really good burgers, but a burger, chips and drink is now £18, so that's for like one person. So it just shows you how much prices of things have gone up, and just kind of makes me think about being more intentional, more conscious with how much money I spend. Hey, if you've liked this video, please check out my other video where I talk about managing Muslim money shame, where you're afraid to deal with the past and how you've spent your money.